from the hands of TODAK.
Yep, they absolutely don't want to deal with that whatsoever. So ONIC Esports going to get rid of that. TODAK on the other side, what are they going to do to adapt against this? Looks like they switched out on it this time round, bringing back in X-Ray as well, and hopefully this lineup will help change things up against ONIC Esports. And you know, the experience matters a lot. And yep, they do decide to go for ban out the quad blue side for the side. Red side for TODAK. Man, the background with the skyline is distracting.
Well, of course, lights, camera, action. Sometimes it can blind some.
Bouncing ball form.
So she really have to think twice before going in for any heavy commitments. And with that being said, I did expected Moon to pick this one up, and of course, pat myself on the back for this
good call. Yeah, that was a good call. That was a good call.
Yeah.
Now, ONIC Esports looking for a reply. This is a very strong lineup in itself. There's innate natural combinations built in with the kits of both. Kufra as well as Esmeralda. Now ONIC Esports realizing, okay, this is a very team fight oriented composition. We have a couple of picks, but they want a little bit more oomph in that team fight with the fatal links coming in from the Atlas. And yeah, ONIC Esports just haven't locked in their hyper carry just yet, and they're going to wait until the second phase to actually do so and take advantage of that. TODAK, on the other hand, could really punish if they start taking out the marksman from here on out.
I would say if they do go for carry right here, it will be rather interesting to see what ONIC's going to be choosing, because they don't have Link for themselves anymore. Are they going to go for something like a Bruno?
I think they actually have to go for Uranus here, or something to actually go into the side lane against the Thalmos, because if ONIC decides to ban out Uranus here and now TODAK has to forcefully get a lane that must interact with Thalmos, and in most situations that's not too ideal, as Thalmos is arguably one of the strongest melee duelists in that top lane. In the side lanes as of right now.
Yeah, we talked to our dear analysts earlier before we even started the match, and we were saying, hey, TAM is still hella strong. It's been patches already.
Yep.
And of course, the line still makes it even more annoying to deal with. So this is something that is still pretty much concerning. So Uranus is definitely something that can still somewhat soak in all that sort of damage that has been put through, but now, Bruno being banned away. Very good call coming from the side of TODAK.
For sure, yeah. Especially, you know, having a Bruno in early game composition working for ONIC that has a Selena already, gonna spell quite a bit of disaster for anybody hit by those abyssal arrows, so might as well get rid of it. ONIC Esports, last 6 seconds before they go for their final ban, which is going to be Valir, which I absolutely agree with. This is a really it's really painful, because every time you want to go in on a team for an all-in, especially if you're Atlas or even Selena, you're forced to use your flicker to try and dodge one of his abilities from pushing you away and keeping you at bay. So really smart options coming in from ONIC Esports with their bans.
Now it seems like TODAK has been having a difficult decision here. Every single one of these members are not saying a word. They're just scratching their heads and stretching. They're just looking all over the place, but they've already figured out, hey, we definitely will beat our marksman here before carry gets snatched away. And, you know, we talked about Purify for a little bit. So Purify did have a very slight nerf where it will not come up as often as before. It used to be like about a minute duration. Now it's 1.5 minutes. So with that, we actually forgot that Granger is still one of the top tier marksmen that, you know,
for sure,
still considerably very strong. And I'm glad that ONIC has gone for that sort of pick. But oh my, what we have here for the last pick for TODAK.
Oh boy, looks like they locked in the Farsa for themselves. It looks like there's been a bit of a change of role here. They did get the carry, they were able to get the Farsa as well for the side of TODAK. Their composition is looking real nice. ONIC, on the other hand, I think it's going to be a lot harder for them to deal with TODAK, especially with the tools and options they have to kind of keep them away from the enemy team. So having Farsa to kind of be like, oh, if we're going into a stalemate, I don't mind doing it because Farsa is always going to have that extra range to break it.
Yeah, and I'm looking at TODAK here. This time they do look much better this time around. And of course, dear shout out to our dear friend Choo-Choo as well. She's been doing an absolute wonderful job. And yeah, giving us a little bit of a sip of water somewhere in between. But of course, once we're done with that, we are definitely in for another epic battle between ONIC Esports versus TODAK once again. And now, if you guys have missed out, it's only 1 point going in from the side of ONIC.
No.
You know,
important thing, we're not having to do any of those remakes. You guys are still gonna get your game. And
yes, indeed.
And it looks like it's gonna keep on going. All right, no technical issues. All right, sweet. Let's go. Let's go. It looks like TODAK is making sure they keep control over the sidelines. And Baxia is actually winning this level 1 against Anti-Mage here because he's not allowing him to get any heal off with his with his Feast of Blood. So it's becoming he has to wait till level 2 before he even stands a chance. So it's kind of interesting how that particular matchup works out.
And interesting rotation coming from Formaze as well. And now it's gonna be a 2 versus 3. Well, Formaze might be able to actually soak in a little bit of damage, but he's stuck behind a wall, forced to flicker away, and Anti-Mage might just have this first blood in hand. Oh boy.
Yep, slow reaction coming in for Formaze. He thought he was going to be A-OK. He totally forgot about Anti-Mage rotating towards that side of the map. And now they're actually doing a bit of a lane swap here. They're getting the Export to go to the top lane and Thamos to go down to the bottom side. And you can already see the Esmeralda has kind of sniffed this out. It's like, what's going on here? Checks the entire river, doesn't see where X-Borg went. And now he sees off the minions that the Thamos has kind of shown up. He'll take that river crab for himself and hopefully secures it.
Yeah,
no, he's pushed off.
This is looking pretty bad, and it seems to be a good snatch coming from the side of X-Ray, but he will falter instead. So I'm not too sure, was the crab really all too worth it?
Yeah, not exactly worth it here, but great utilization of the Granger ultimate there. That Death Sonata has some serious range. Like, the moment he got stunned, he was already hit by the slow from the Death Sonata. There was no means of escape for him there. And now they're going to do it one more time. They're going to try and harass this bottom side as much as they can.
Yeah, and of course, real great cover-up coming from Moon for the side of X-Ray as well. So they are just trying to actually receive and defend their turrets to the best they can. Seems like Sasa will be watching this one grabbed away, but oh my, Rassi's coming from the back as well. But seems like it's going to be a little bit overcrowded here. Looking at the situation, it's going to be TODAK here just re-rotating towards the mid side.
Yeah, they're just making sure that they're keeping their carry safe. They can't afford her to go too far, especially when, you know, middle is missing 3 members, Granger and the kill squad of Atlas as well as Selena. Very powerful combination, 1 CC, and it could be over for you. Even getting caught by the Death Sonata might spell your death.
Yeah, I think that the damage output will be way too much to take in if that's the case. And it's going to be pretty much a long, hard-fought battle right over the bottom side as we see X-Ray trying to actually stop that sort of a proxy going on. But oh my, here comes the pop of the health! And instantly deletes off Moon. There's not even a single chance for him. While E1 being dropped down low, which means that ONIC has pure security over on towards the first turtle of the game once again.
Oh, it looks like Chiku was able to get an initial kill onto Anti-Mage as well, so I guess that is some kind of retribution at the end of the day. But once ONIC gets this ball rolling, it's very hard to stop them from snowballing. We've seen them time and time again do this, and now Sasa on the chopping block as Formaze breaks his Firaga armor. That's very important because now they can set up a dive before he gets that Firaga armor back.
Yeah, and while they're at it, this is going to be really rough, and yeah, no chance at all. But Rassi's going to be coming in, trying to actually connect the Fatal Links, brings E1 back, and this kill trying to be distributed towards the side of CEW, and that took long enough for that killing spree.
Yeah, they trade 1 for 1, but that's not too bad. Sasa goes, oh, wait a minute, another catch downing on the bottom side, but Anti-Mage is playing this really, really well. His ultimate is keeping him alive, and TODAK, they just move away, wait for the cooldown, wait for him to use one of his ability, waste his cooldowns, and come back in for the final blow. And Mezzi trying to clear that way with the Tortoise Poissons, but that's nothing much when it's coming up against ONIC CW, where he's got literally every buff in the game stacked on him.
I'm not too sure if that was a wise move for the side of Formace. After all, you know, he doesn't seem to be all too familiar with that sort of rotation that ONIC has been pulling up lately. And now, one more team fight breaks out over the mid side.
Yep, and the mid side is getting sucked back in the Fatal Links. And once again, Rossi making sure that they are picking off their supports. They're making sure that they are really, really weak in these stages of the game. And they are being extremely proactive, considering that TODAK was supposed to be the ones being a little bit more proactive within this game.
Yeah, and I felt like they gave in a little bit way too much of that pressure. As we are looking at only 5 minutes, there's already 6 kills in the back, and yet another turret falls towards the bottom side. Drian tries to secure that camp for himself, but look at Formace. We'll just respect a little bit of that sort of territory control, while there's another turtle up for grabs if they want to actually go for it. But, you know, there's still the pressure from the top lane, so Anti-Mage is definitely going to go in for that push. So if they do commit to this, it might not end well for the side of TODAK.
Yep, they're going for the invade as well, and the rest of the TODAK members are getting chunked down one by one. Moon is using his feathered airstrike, but again, they've chunked them but not killed them just yet. Rossi's still alive. He refuses to go down as CW, just kiting them in the back. He has done so many rondos already to get on out of there. Sasa, he should be able to break it out, but the Firaga armor still holds strong as Formace trying to secure the kill, jumps over the wall, sees 3 members, and realizes this isn't worth it. That Firaga armor hasn't broken. Anti-Mage jumps right on top of Moon. Moon is unable to get on out of there. What an abyssal arrow coming in from Drian. Pinpoint accuracy.
That was such a perfect shot from the corner of the bush, and he was just baffled, stunned, unable to even move an inch. So now, with that sort of pickup, they have so much more room for perhaps some invasion towards the top side, and E1's getting caught out once again. This is going to be a monster kill going over the side of CW. 2 games in a row, he's aiming for that double-digit KDA coming in this way, and hopefully another MVP title that's probably going to be coming in by the end of the game.
Yeah, and Sasa coming in with the last Insanity, trying to chunk out Baxia as much as he can, but it's really not going to matter too much here in this particular situation, mainly because, you know, ONIC Esports, yes, they have a very good trigger finger. They know when to pull it, and every single time TODAK has fallen into it without fail. TODAK can't seem to fake ONIC out to waste resources without it being underutilized. ONIC, every time they press a skill, they press a button, they have a purpose, and they are looking to punish.
Yeah, and let's look into some itemizations right now. Of course, we got the BOD on the side of CW, and
once again, that's the trigger finger.
Yep, definitely pulled it at the right time, and that's a really great catch over the side of E1. And you know, we expected the Kufra to do a lot from the early stages, but now here comes another catch over the side of X-Ray. They are trying to actually disengage as Rossi gets picked up there, as the Esmeralda will go in for that chase. Formace now going over on towards the corner, and he's running for his life already. That's a double kill going in favor of the side of TODAK.
Yeah, Chiku getting eventually run down by the members of ONIC Esports. Unfortunate, but they trade again another 1 for 1. That's not too bad, honestly, considering that TODAK come up on top of that trade. So honestly, it's a bit of a win for TODAK here, but ONIC Esports is going to hit their second item power spike, and that's going to be pretty devastating considering at what stage 8 minutes into the game. Lord is coming up real soon after this turtle.
Now, of course, the turtle attempt will not be contested once again. ONIC really has a way to actually secure a lot of all these objectives pretty much fluently. They don't really seem to have any issues when they go in for any sort of commitment. So far, every single move that they have been doing has been pretty much very well calculated, which is why, you know, it's really hard when you are pretty much far behind in terms of goal.
Yep, and now they're going to keep on pushing forward or looking for some sort of advantage to give Chiku some space to farm. They break that top tier 1, and they're looking again. they look to stay for a little bit too long, and Chiku, he already recalled. I'm not entirely sure what the rest of the TODAK is doing. Are they trying to recall?
Wow.
Are they trying to fake a fight? And even though they tried to fake a fight pretty well, they get caught out once again. Oh, Moon getting hit by every single shot of the Death Sonata have given the green light for ONIC to crush on down, to take down these inhibitor turrets, and look to end this game.
Of course, without minions, there's still no problems for the side of ONIC Esports. They are trying to actually look for another opening from the top side, but the minions are a little bit too far off, so they're heading towards the bottom lane for that. Well, there's going to be less than a minute before we see despawn of the Lord. Maybe they might actually go in for that as well to perhaps close out this game itself. But 4base might just actually try his best to pull up some minions, but looks like we have another one.
Getting suplex like that from Rasi is just nasty. Like, what else can I say about it? He got sucked in by the Fatalings, and the rest of the team just put him in the dirt. Like, there's nothing much I could say about Chiku and Moon. Once again, they've been caught out. Malefic Roar just being bought by CW. If they want to break that crystal, they can do it whenever they want at this point. And the rest of the TODAK members are just trying to clear out that wave. Oh! 4Maze with all the items that he has, still unable to do much. Last Insanity jumping right on top of that Kufra. Next is going to be X-Ray biting the dust. And now ONIC, they've dominated this match long enough. It's time to end it.
Yes, indeed, and now they're rushing all the way in. They want the very final blow, and here comes that suplex that we're talking about, baby, as we will finish off with 2 pointers for Indonesia. ONIC Esports secures the game.
Oh, what a game that